Lisa's fuck you luncheon ends in more low blows and Lisa's manipulation tactics, plus Bronwyn's mom is her biggest enemy. Let's break it all down in today's recap.
But I'll be on it always and ever.
Hey! Welcome back to my Queen Cave. My name is Shelby, Queen of the Queen Cave, and in here I drop recaps and reviews on my favorite TV shows and movies, commentary on trending topics that I find interesting, and deep dives into Black history and Black culture. If that is your vibe, go ahead and subscribe. You already know the deal. Today we are recapping The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 4, Pretty Little Liars. Picking up from the fuck you luncheon, Whitney is gone off, she's upset, and she says that Lisa is acting like an irrational toddler. Instead of answering the questions that the girls have for her, she's over here hurling insults at them and trying to deflect, and Whitney just wants to give herself some time to cool off while Lisa calms the fuck down. Lisa then turns to Angie, and she's now addressing the joke she made about her being just like Jen Shah, and she then tries to expose Angie for only owning 1.5 of her salons, and the rest of them are franchises. Angie is quick to deny this, and she goes, "Let me help you count my cash. I own 3 salons and I franchise the rest, and I'm very proud of that." And Angie's in her confessional and she goes, "I just realized that Lisa will make up a lie to try to deflect and get the attention off of her." And I'm like, you just now realize that, Angie? Now that it's about you and Lisa's going against you, now it's real clear, but Lisa's always been like this, so I'm confused as to why you're just now realizing this, but okay. Angie then clocks Lisa and she goes, "You do French fries, I do franchise, stick to it."
And
I was like, oh, she's going deep. I already knew it was about to get good. Angie then goes a little further and she brings up how she invested into Lisa's sons, Jack and Josh. I think that the younger son's name is Josh. They have a men's grooming line, and Angie invested in it. So she brings that up, and she goes, "That line isn't selling anything in my salon. It really shouldn't have ever been on the shelves." She says it's a C line that should be in Walmart.
boom.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, why is she talking about the children, the kids? Angie, now we're going beyond Lisa. You're going to her children. Like, I thought that was a low blow. I was like, okay, Angie, I understand you're upset and you got so insulted about what Lisa said about you, I guess, but it's like, to go that far and now bring the kids into it. Like, nah, I was not cool with that. I did not care for that, because she would be pissed if Lisa said anything about Electra, so leave the kids out of it. Angie continues, and she goes, "Lisa, you're trying to peddle yourself around to work with Caritas, the hair company." She's like, I've been working with them for 26 years. And Lisa goes, "I wasn't peddling them. They just love my silky, amazing, beautiful hair." And Angie goes, "Why aren't you promoting your son's grooming line? Like, you don't do any media campaigns for it. You don't do anything for it." And Lisa goes, "It's a men's grooming line. Like, what am I supposed to be?" It's like, what do you mean? What are you supposed to be doing? How about John? He's a man. Does he do any campaigning, any media for your son's line or anything? Because she didn't mention that. That was real interesting. And Lisa goes, "You're just jealous." And Angie goes, "No, you're jealous, bitch." Oh, wow. Meredith now pipes in and she's condemning Angie for talking about Jack's grooming line, saying that she went way too low for that one and she should take some accountability for that. Heather then, first she says to Lisa, she goes, I feel like you were heavily attacked at the camping trip." And at first I was like, oh my gosh, Heather, shut the fuck up. And then she goes, "You making comments about Angie's business was so uncalled for." But then she turns to Angie and she goes, "I feel the same way about you. You making any comments about Jack and his business or anything else you said about Lisa was also uncalled for." She turns back to Lisa and she goes, "I'm not afraid to call you out when needed. I'm not your friend because of your money, your status, XYZ. I'm your friend because I have a good time with you. But I want to be able to be open and honest with you, XYZ. And I'm just like, okay, maybe Heather is making some headway, because at first I was about to really skip her entire speech. But then when she went to start at least holding Lisa accountable in some aspect, I was like, okay, maybe she's really understanding that Lisa is not putting her in any separate category when she talks about being better than all the girls. Heather, you're included. So maybe Heather is starting to wake the fuck up and understand that her and Lisa does not see her at the same level. So it's like, you need to stop putting Lisa on this pedestal, Heather, and hold her accountable just like you hold everyone else accountable. When Heather mentions that Lisa isn't very open with the girls, she doesn't show any signs of vulnerability with them, Lisa immediately rebuttals that and she goes, I am vulnerable. I just don't show it the same way you guys do. I was just raised differently. And then she starts to like tear up, cry, whatever the fuck. She turns to Angie and she's like, Angie, I really love you and I really care about you. That's why when you say mean and bad things about me, it's really hurts me 10 times deeper because of that love I have for you. And I'm literally sitting there the entire time watching Lisa cry like, I don't see any tears whatsoever, Lisa. I'm just looking at her like, I kid you not. I went back like 3 different times to zoom in, turn the brightness up to the max to see if I could see any tears formulating. And I saw not a dud. I didn't see anything coming from her eyes, streaming down her face, not nothing. It was dry to the bone. So I was like, whatever act, Lisa, you think you're pulling off is already, bullshit, and I'm seeing right through it right now. So I was not convinced the entire time. She then goes over to Heather. She's like, I love how you hold me accountable, Heather, and I love you. I'm your biggest champion. And I'm like, when are you Heather's biggest champion? Like, when did all this happen? When did you guys have all of a sudden this super close friendship bullshit? Weren't you just in the last few episodes saying that you were so much better than all of the girls? Did she not say specifically all of you guys? I'm just like, please let me know that anyone else is seeing right through this shit, because I'm like, this isn't genuine at all to me, Lisa. It just seems like you are trying to now backpedal. She sees that everyone is trying to hold her accountable. Now that the one person that was on her side, Heather, is also holding her accountable with the rest of the girls, now she sees she don't have any allies because, once again, we forgot all about Rando Amy that's sitting next to her that didn't say nothing this entire time other than, can we just stop and order real quick, please? So now Lisa has to backtrack a little. She has to stop. She has to stop her mean girl bullshit fuckery for a minute because she knows she's kind of backed up against the wall. So she also turns to Brownwyn. That's one of her biggest people that she has issue with, and she goes, even though that I get frustrated with you, I say I don't like you. She says, like, I still notice certain things about you, or I still acknowledge certain things about you, even if you don't think that I do, or it doesn't look like I do, or I am. And I'm like, what does that mean, Lisa? What are you seeing or acknowledging about her, or from her, or within her, or anything? Like, can you give us some more detail? Because I don't know if anyone else was kind of like waiting for her to give some more explanation on that, but I was like, okay, what does that mean? Like, can you expound, Lisa? And that's why I'm just saying, like, she'll just say like the most generic, vaguest bullshit just to be able to say, oh, well, she's at least made the effort to try to be better. You're going to see the rest of the episode, Lisa's going to be on bullshit, gaslighting, manipulation. That's what I'm saying. And I can already tell the next episode, she's about to be cutting the fuck up. Whitney has a scene at her house next, and she's trying to set up a stripper pole. She says that she lost her fun, loving, free-spirited side of her after she opened her business. So she wants to do whatever she can to get back there and get back to a more happier, joyful side of herself. So she's excited to put her stripper pole back up. There's nothing else to really add here. So next, Lisa sets up a meetup for her and Brownwyn. And in her confessional, she says she wants to meet up with Brownwyn one-on-one because her and Bronwyn need to talk about things that are personal, and she doesn't want to do it around the rest of the girls. And in my mind, I'm like, or You know that the rest of the girls are dogpiling on you to take accountability, and you don't want Bronwyn to expose anything else about you that she could to the rest of the girls. That could be another factor as to why you wanted this to be one-on-one, Lisa. Any other time you were just fine talking about her, calling her a gout dick sucker? Once again, reminder. So you now all of a sudden want things to be one-on-one. Okay. Lisa goes on to give Bronwyn a half-ass apology saying, damaging things were said and I apologize for those. That's not a real apology to me. Like, you need to give me specifics. What are you apologizing for? Because you just telling me, oh, damaging things were said, I'm sorry. You're not taking any accountability. That's just to me like a here damn apology. Like, I would not accept that. We get a flashback of the reunion, and Bronwyn is upset at Lisa for going around telling people that Gwen's father's mom said that Bronwyn faked a miscarriage. So she went around talking to people about that, knowing how sensitive that topic was for Bronwyn already, because she was the one that confided in Lisa about the whole situation with Gwen's dad's family not wanting to have anything to do with Gwen. So that was essentially a low blow and a kick in the gut for Bronwyn. And for Lisa to talk about I've said some things that I didn't know would be a big thing for you guys, knowing how sensitive that topic was is another indication to let it be known Lisa is not a real friend and never had been, and I don't think ever knows what that even is. Because didn't Bronwyn and Lisa, like, didn't they have a long-standing relationship or friendship before the show that I remember? Like, they've been friends. So it's just like, after all these years, you would go around and hurt me like that is crazy and shows your character is completely flawed. Then says her and Lisa are racing to see who can do the lowest low blows, and she doesn't want to do that anymore. She also says that she doesn't feel the need to defend herself, and she's open to constructive criticism and being held accountable whenever she's wrong. Lisa then takes some accountability for how defensive she's been getting whenever John is mentioned, and she just explains John is a sensitive topic for her. She will crash out whenever somebody says something bad about John. Bronwyn is like, oh, speaking of that, comment I made about John was nowhere near as bad as what you said about me and Todd and how you said I suck dick for clothes. Lisa, instead of just apologizing right then, tries to deflect, and she goes, well, we both said some wrong low blow thing. And Bronwyn lets her know she's real low down for twisting a joke that she had made to her years prior and now turning it into making it seem like Bronwyn is a whore and sucks dick for money or clothes and doesn't respect her husband. Another thing that I'm saying, they have been friends for years. For Lisa to not only remember that joke that Bronwyn made, she said that was 5 years ago. You not only remember the joke, you are then now trying to twist it into something else to make me look bad. And you were supposed to be my friend. Like, I don't know how much more sneaking and conniving and vindictive that you can even explain. Like, it just makes me see Lisa in a completely different light, and it's just so sad, kind of, because I really liked Lisa. Like, I thought she was it, but now I guess we're just seeing her true colors. Brownwyn then apologizes for intentionally and unintentionally hurting Lisa, and they both agree to stop talking about each other's husbands. Lisa also then adds on, oh, let's not talk about the kids either. And Bronwyn was like, I didn't bring up the kids. Like, that had nothing to do with me. So as they're on the topic of the kids, Lisa says that Jack is almost done with his mission and he will be back home in less than 2 months. And then Bronwyn says that Gwen graduated from high school, but she's still living at home. She moved the boyfriend in and her mom. And then she gives a situation that recently happened between her and Gwen. She said that her and Gwen got into a disagreement and her mom was there and saw it and really didn't like seeing them go back and forth. She then says that her and her mom had a conversation and she acknowledges how much softer she is with Gwen, how much more compassionate and kind and patient she is, and how much the complete opposite she was with Brownwyn, and she acknowledges how much harder she is on Brownwyn than she has been with everybody else. Brownwyn then connects that back to her feelings of always wanting to be in control of everything, especially of her image, how people see her, how people like her. That's all tied back to how her mom treated her, and we're going to get a lot deeper into their dynamic later in the episode, so we will bookmark this for now. So now we get over to Mary. She's with her cousin and they are on the way to her church that she is finally having reopened after having renovations for the last 2 years. Her cousin is asking her for an update on Robert Jr. and Mary says that he's doing a lot better and they've gotten really close, and that has actually been harder for her because now she has an upfront seat on seeing all of his struggles, seeing him go back and forth with his good and bad days, so she is taking it one day at a time with him. They then go on to talking about Mary's mother and how strained their relationship was. Mary explains how controlling her mom was and said she really believed she should have been the one to take over the church after their grandma died, but Mary's grandma really wanted Mary to be the one to take over the church and marry her then husband, which is now Mary's now husband, which was then her step grandfather. Ew! And Mary says that she thought it was weird. She didn't like the idea, but she wanted to fulfill her grandma's wishes. Her mom was really not fucking with that plan. She did not care for it, and she was trying to take over the church anyway. So Mary explains a situation where the church session was going on, and her mother barged in with her posse, her gang, her people of leaders, whoever she had her with, and they came into the church and stormed the stage, telling the congregation that she was leaving the church, and then refused to leave the actual premises, which then got the police called on her, and she got herself escorted off of the premises. So Mary says ever since then, their relationship has been so strained and so bad, and her mom cut her off after that, and then ran to the tabloids to talk all this shit about her and Robert Sr. So after that, they cut ties, and Mary's mom recently passed away. They still hadn't had any relationships. So Mary is going through the struggle of dealing with that grief, but just not knowing how to feel because she hadn't had that relationship with her mom in a long time. Mary said she had been trying to reestablish and rekindle that, but her mom just wasn't going for that. She really wrote Mary off after she didn't let her take over the church. So that really destroyed their whole relationship. And unfortunately, like, Mary didn't get to say bye to her mom. From what Mary says, it sounds like they had like literally no contact. So if that happened and she passed away, I'm assuming she didn't get to say bye to her mom. She didn't get to have any closure. They didn't get to have any like last words. Mary says she considers this a chapter that's closed. So I really do hope and pray that she does get through her grieving, her healing as well. So Heather is meeting up with Angie at her salon. Angie says that her cosmetology license lapsed eons ago, so she's trying to get some practice in on Heather. As Heather is sitting down to get her hair done, Angie tells her that Lisa sent her assistant over to Angie's salon to collect the rest of the products from Fresh Wolf Jack's line, and she also sent her $600 through Venmo, and she also said that she would send a cleaner for her dusty ass salon. Okay, and then Angie responds and she says, you should probably save that money for all those people suing you in those lawsuits, and then continues to talk about Jack's line by saying, your son's dusty ass product has been sitting on the shelves untouched for the last 2 years. Lisa fires back and says, at least I don't have to borrow money to go on vacation and pay it back for a card I shouldn't be using in the first place. Angie gets pissed off. That's when she stops the back and forth with Lisa, and she's now venting to Heather. She was thrown completely off when Lisa sent her assistant over because she thought they were on good terms from the lunch.
So that was a fucking lie.
Concluding what I was already saying, that was a whole bunch of bullshit. And Heather says, well, I think you should give her some more grace because you were talking about her son's hair care line, and Angie's like, well, I wouldn't have said anything about that if she wasn't trying to say that you're jealous, XYZ. And Angie's like, how would I be jealous of you? Your hair is dyed jet black like a bowling ball and it's not even shiny. And Heather's like, see, that right there is why it's so hard for me to support you, because you just be saying horrible, horrible stuff like that. And I'm like, that's horrible, horrible stuff, Heather? Are you kidding me? All of the bullshit that Lisa has been firing off about everybody, and that's what you call horrible, horrible stuff? Like, Heather, please get the fuck out of the way. Angie says Lisa is just trying to turn the allegations that were already made about her and flip them on whoever else she can to get the attention off of her and deflect as much as she can. Whitney and Brittany meet up at a plant shop so they can clear the air, and Brittany apologizes to Whitney for making those comments about her business, and Whitney apologizes to Brittany for the comments that she made about her and Jared. She gonna talk about some, I'm really sorry for making those comments. I don't usually do that. I'm not that kind of person. Whitney, please. You say a lot of shady, lowdown, gossipy shit all the time. You are the Ashley of Salt Lake City. Whitney then asked Brittany straight up, are you and Jared together or not? And Brittany's like, yeah, we're still dating, but we're working on getting back to getting engaged. And Whitney's like,
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
you guys are together after you called out the engagement and you're working to get back engaged. Why? And she goes, he's really good to me. Let's all have a moment of silence for Brittany's low self-esteem. All right, time's up. Okay, so as I was saying, Brittany has to be the biggest pick-me in housewife history. I'm telling you right now. She goes on to talk about the whole thing with her daughter having a strained relationship with her because she continues to choose men over her. Whitney then tries to have Brittany think of this in a different perspective, and she gives her and her own mom's relationship as a good example. And she says for the longest time they were estranged, they didn't have any relationship, but since they rekindled that, she now knows how important that relationship is to her, and she can't even fathom Brittany not even giving a damn to salvage her own relationship with her own daughter over trying to date these men and be around these men that don't want her any fucking way. Like, I don't understand. What are you getting from this? Then Whitney straight up asked Brittany, wouldn't it be worth it to stop dating? Like, just give it a small break, give it some time so you and your daughter can rekindle that relationship. Wouldn't that be worth it? And Brittany is really looking at her like, hello? Girl, she's talking to you. Like, is that not worth it? The answer should be, of course, yeah. Brittany is literally looking off in the camera like, I hope her daughter is seeing this. Like, seriously, I hope she is seeing this verbatim. Whitney goes, no offense, Brittany, but your kids should always be your first priority, whether they're adults or not. Like, that shouldn't matter. And then she has to physically grab Brittany. And she's like, this should be a no-brainer to you. Give it 30 days. Give it that time. Don't you think it's worth it to be with your daughter and have that relationship? Do you not feel what I'm saying? And Brittany's like, yeah, I do. Bitch, no, you don't. You don't get it. You don't get it because you don't want to get it. You care more about being picked and being a pick-me and having validation and being around these men because that's the only way you get any self-worth in your mind than to do what you can to make sure you have a relationship with your daughter, the person you gave birth to, the person that you should be willing to do anything for. Like, Brittany is a fucking weirdo, and I do not want her on the screen. I'm tired of seeing her dumbass on the screen and in the cast, on the cast trips with the girls. Why is she here? She's boring as fuck. She's desperate as fuck. She gives nothing. Next! Now we're getting over to Bronwyn's house. We see her mom's in the living room. She's trying to fold up this costume thing. And Gwen and her boyfriend are about to leave the house. She tells Bronwyn they're going to their bowling league. They go every Wednesday. And Bronwyn doesn't believe they're going to bowling. She thinks they're going to have sex. And that gets Bronwyn and her mom on the topic. And she goes, I could never imagine, being Gwen's age and being in your house and telling you I want my boyfriend to move in with me like I did with Gwen. And her mom's like, yeah, that would never happen. In her confessional, Bronwyn says that she got pregnant around the same age that Gwen is now. And the way that her mom is always judging her parenting makes those feelings of shame that she got when she was pregnant come back to the surface and be even more prevalent in her life now. And Bronwyn tells her mom, it doesn't bother me that Gwen has sex. And her mom goes, yeah, I know. She sees that you don't have a problem with it, so she doesn't have a problem with it. And Bronwyn's kind of like taken aback, like, okay. And then she's like, well, I would much rather have an open relationship with her and have her come to me and just tell me what's going on versus her sneak behind my back and do it anyway. And Bronwyn's mom is like, yeah, like I understand that, I like that, but I've never seen that sort of parenting work out. And Bronwyn snaps back and she's like, well, do you think the way that you parented me worked out? Because you did whatever you could to get me away from not having sex and not doing this and that, and I still went out, still had sex, and still got pregnant with no man and no job. And her mom was just sitting there like, she was too stunned to speak.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Bronwyn then goes on to say she knows her mom loves to give out tough love, but Bronwyn doesn't like receiving it. And her mom is like laughing and she's like, but do you see how much better that works? And Bronwyn is like, it doesn't. And her mom's like, yes, it does. Like, no compassion, no type of listening, no nothing. Like, her mom is real cutthroat. Bronwyn then adds, although I wouldn't be happy if Gwen was pregnant right now, I would do it completely different than the way you did it with me. You wanted to make sure my pregnancy was so miserable. You didn't let me have a baby shower. You didn't let anyone be happy for me. And you wanted me to be miserable. Bronwyn then gives us a story of when she was pregnant. She says she and both of her sisters were pregnant at the same time, and they went to a Baby Gap store. She says that while they were in the store, a sales associate came up to Bronwyn and asked her if her mom was gonna buy her something for her baby. And Bronwyn was like, oh no, she's gonna buy my sister something. And the sales associate was like, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have assumed that you were pregnant. And Bronwyn goes, I am. And the sales associate was like, so she's not buying anything for you too? And Bronwyn's own mom steps in and she goes, no. Wow. That was fucked up. Like, this entire scene, I just kept saying, wow, that was fucked up. Like, Bronwyn's mom, like, I guess I won't call her out of her name because she's elderly, but respect elders. But she's really mean. She's brutal. Like, I thought that my mom growing up was bad in a way when it came down to saying certain things that would affect my self-confidence or my self-esteem. But Bronwyn's mom is like, wow. It's like final boss. I don't even know what to even say about her. And she's so like, it's like when she tells these things to Bronwyn that's clearly hurting her feelings, she's like smiling about it in Bronwyn's face. She's over here laughing about it. Like, there's something wrong with her. Like, she's miserable. There's something within her that makes her like hate Bronwyn almost. And it's like really sad to see. And it does also give further context as to why Bronwyn is how she is. And it's like, you really need, girl, to do what you can to do some self-healing. Like, it just seems like she is still grappling with trauma and bad experiences, hurt that she held on to all these years, and she's still going through it. And I feel like her moving her mom in does not make things any better. That's just going to continue to snowball the cycle of her mom and her, how would you say, like, emotional abuse. Like, at this point, I'm just like, the way that she talks to Brownwyn and the way that she just has zero regard for her feelings and has zero compassion, zero remorse for anything that she's done over the years is real wild. Brownwyn then goes on to tell her mom, there's plenty of things you can't go back and redo, and you couldn't predict that I was not going to have another baby. So it's like, you did whatever you could to try to make my pregnancy as miserable as possible. And her mom responds with zero compassion once again, and she goes, well, that's not my fault. Whose fault would it be? And Brownwyn starts crying and she's like, you're the one that made it miserable. And her mom responds and she's like, Do you know how much more miserable it was for me to have to hide it? Oh my gosh. Like, just the complete disregard. Just, what is the word? Narcissistic. Like, she's a narcissist. Everything needs to be about her. She needs to be the center of the attention for everything. She will disregard everything you feel. It's all about her. She's the victim for every situation. Like, I really had no words watching this entire sequence because it just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. And Bronwyn's mom she has no feelings. She shows no emotion other than, like, it just almost seems like she was happy to see that Brownwyn was getting upset. Like, does anyone else feel that way? I felt like she was getting, like, happy to see that Brownwyn was, like, getting worked up about it while she was laughing about it in her face while she's crying. She's the type of person that you say, I don't care that you're family or not, I need to cut you off. Like, this is when you need to cut a family member off. This right here. She then ends off her range of low blows, insults, and bullshit by saying, even though I don't go around saying how amazing and wonderful you are, that doesn't mean I don't think that you are. I'm just too busy making sure you don't think you're too wonderful and too good. So let me get this straight. You say that you recognize that she's amazing and wonderful. You are just you're too busy not telling her that. You don't tell her that because you're too busy wanting to make sure she doesn't think that she's too wonderful or she's too good. So you want her to think less about herself is what I'm getting. You don't want her to have self-confidence. You don't want her to know her worth. That shit is evil. That is some evil shit. And it's coming from your own mom. She is Bronwyn's biggest op. Like, literally. The call's coming from inside the house. And you moved her in your house. So now your biggest enemy is surrounding you 24/7. And it seems like she's reveling. She's reveling in seeing you break down, get upset, get self-conscious, overthink, doubt yourself, all this shit. She's miserable. She's miserable with herself. Clearly she has some certain, like, inner problems that she needs to work through, because it seems like Brownwyn is her emotional punching bag. She has some issue with Brownwyn. She has this resentment all these years. Like, you need to heal, girl. You need to pray. You need to do whatever you need to do to move on from that, because it's ugly. Now, to close out the scenes, we are meeting up with Angie and Meredith to go out for coffee. Angie first tells Meredith about how Lisa sent her assistant to go pick up the rest of Fresh Wolf's products. And then Meredith responds by saying, you just need to give Lisa some more time, grace, and patience because you were talking about her son. That then leads Angie to tell Meredith, while me and you were on the outs, Lisa actually reached out to me and told me to start Googling you, start digging up dirt on you and your family, bankruptcies, and she said shoplifting. I was like, And Meredith is surprised by this, and she's like, why would she tell the person that I am at odds with to go dig up dirt on me and my family and my business when me and her were friends? Like, why would she do that? So in her confessional, she is saying that she gives Lisa the benefit of the doubt over Angie because she just can't see that Lisa would do something like that because they're friends and they were friends during the time of. So she tells Angie, I'm definitely going to be asking Lisa about this. And Angie's like, okay, no problem, because she said that word for word. So that's going to get really interesting these next few episodes when Lisa is confronted. I feel like this episode was more of a filler. This was mainly about us seeing the dynamic between Brownwyn and her mom, and we get Lisa trying to put out the flame that she put as much as possible, and it's just for now. She just wants the heat off her back for just long enough to when she can get some more allies on her back, when she can get Heather back on her side without having to call her out and be on the same side as the other girls. She is gonna show her ass again, and I can't wait to see it. How did you feel about Brownwyn's mom? Let me know in the comments down below. But as always, if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!